What up? It's Brian the Illustrator, back to break down another vintage t-shirt graphic for you guys. I wanted to talk in this video about something that's coming up more and more often from my clients, and that is AI. Feel how you want to feel about it. I'm not going to tell you how to feel. Personally, I have a very strong opposition to generative AI. I think it's horrible for the environment. I think it kind of sacks a lot of creativity. It's ruined a lot of careers for people that are really talented illustrators that just can't make a living anymore because AI has kind of taken their work, taken their style, boiled it down to whatever mess that it kind of comes up with, and this is what we wind up with. That said, I do understand that for a lot of my clients, getting their ideas kind of formulated before they come to me, AI does help them with that. More and more often, I'm seeing people that come to me that have an AI-generated idea, and they kind of want me to say, do a better version of this. And so in this case, this is my new client, Sunshine State. They wanted me to do a Grapefruit League baseball graphic for them. We kind of worked through some challenges there that I'm going to talk about in the video. And I wanted to start off by first showing you what they gave me as the AI prompt, and then kind of working through the process of what I did to take that idea and kind of flip it and make what I think is a much stronger overall visual graphic. So stay tuned. Hope you guys like it, and we'll see what I came up with here. So this is the AI-generated image the client gave me. I wanted to show you some of the things that I look for to see, is this AI or not right off the bat, and take you through some common problems you run into with AI-generated images. So one of the first things I look for is where details come together. You see the stitching vanishes into the side of the state. You got a weird Y-shaped stitch up there. And then the big thing that I look for with AI problems is text. It's got weird lumps. It's got a weird counter down there that doesn't belong to anything. Again, the stitching vanishes. This is a little bit of a nitpick. The bottom of that grapefruit isn't really smooth. It's got a weird bump. And overall, that's not really the right proportions or the shape of the state of Florida. So this is what I came up with instead. Rubber hose character of a baseball. They had some ideas of what they wanted. They wanted him blowing gum. They wanted the bat kind of up over his shoulder. And so we worked through a couple different iterations of this illustration. But I think overall, this is a more visually dynamic version to communicate Grapefruit League than actual stitching on the shape of Florida and then a sliced grapefruit right next to that. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get going on this vectorization of the sketch. I'll speed things up so you don't have to watch me very slowly work through all the details here, and I'll chime back in when I have some interesting things to talk about. If you haven't seen Make a Graphic before, the reason I use this crazy bright magenta is because I would never really use this color in an actual graphic. It stands out really strong, so I know what I've gone over and what I haven't. I'm sure there's different ways to do this. This is the way that works best for me, and so I always use kind of a gaudy, insane-looking color because it makes it really easy to tell, where my lines are at instead of trying to go with black over this or, anything like that for the outline. Okay, outline is done. Now we're going to go ahead and get working on the fill and the interior colors. I do group them together when they go together, right? So all of the white part of the baseball is going to be on one layer. All of the other colors are going to be mixed together, going to come in their own layers together. That way, if I want to change the color of one thing altogether, I don't have to worry about getting individual parts and all that. They're all grouped together in one piece, and it makes it really easy if I'm going to modify this graphic at all. You also notice that when I start and end my vectors, my line segments, I go inside and then kind of match the line. It's almost impossible to go directly over the line and keep it smooth. So I always go from the inside of the shape, match the line on the outside, and then end back on the inside so I don't have any weird bumps or any areas where the lines don't connect, because nothing is more frustrating than getting the whole thing done and then seeing you have a tiny gap somewhere and having to hunt that son of a bitch down. Okay, Okay, so all the white of the body of the baseball is done. Kind of the bulk of the coloring is finished now. Now we're going to go through and do some detail work on these red stitches. A little bit tedious, but you know, when you're doing something like this, details matter. I always want to deliver the most that I can for my clients. I don't want to cut any corners or sort of, you know, speed things along. And so took a little bit of time to do all of these individual stitches, but it's definitely worth it when you see the finished product. One other thing that I run into with some of my clients is a limited number of colors they want to use, specifically if they're doing screen printing. With each screen you use, you know, the cost of making your graphic goes up. And so if I have a limited number of colors, they wanted, I think, 3 or 4 colors total for this graphic. It gets a little bit tricky sometimes because you don't want to have too many colors, but also you don't want to have things that don't really match and look right. And so a lot of thought has to go into, you know, what things are going to be which colors, because you don't want to have one tiny part of the graphic be the only part that's that color. It can stand out way too much sometimes. Now this part's a little bit tricky because grapefruits, you know, don't have the same color as an orange, but if they get too orange, they can look too much like an orange, too yellow, too much like a lemon. So I had to play around with some different yellows to kind of get the right color. Same with the bubble gum. I usually use 183 for my pink. I use 184 for this one because that matches the color of the grapefruit a lot better, and that way I can consolidate colors instead of having 2 different pinks in there. I only have space for 1, and so that's the one I went with, is 184 for the grapefruit and for the bubble gum. Now technically I could be done here. I'll drop that magenta back into black or navy blue for the outline. This could be done. You know, the colors are down. He looks a little bit flat to me, and so my Mr. You know, never leave well enough alone. I wanted to come and add a little bit more detail to upscale the quality of the illustration a little bit, and also give it a little bit more, you know, a hand-done touch as opposed to kind of looking a little bit flat, almost like a sticker as he looks right now. The best way that I could think of to upscale a graphic like this a little bit is add some shine to it. It gives some dimension to some of the shapes. Also makes that grapefruit look a lot more juicy. You know, grapefruit's juice all over the damn place. And so I wanted to add some reflection to give it a little bit more depth, a little bit more life to the grapefruit. And also I think it adds more shape to the bubble gum. And I'm going to do the same thing on the shoes, add a tiny bit of shine to the shoes, and just kind of give the whole thing a little bit more shape overall. So there is our baseball character. This is going to go on a navy blue ground. So again, to consolidate colors. I don't like printing black on navy in the first place, but it does help to kind of drop that color to ground. Makes the whole thing look, you know, a little more cohesive with the shirt itself. And now we're going to build up the rest of the graphic, add in the shape of Florida, add in our text, and then add in the logo for the client as well. So this is their style guide. Always great if a client has a style guide, you can pull their stuff directly off of that. I didn't want to redraw the logo on the graphic itself. It gets a little bit muddy when it's that small, so I kind of kept that clean. And then I also didn't like how the only yellow part was the rind of the grapefruit, and so I took the bat and flipped that to yellow as well. So having a file that has all the state shapes in it is a really, really big help. I do the same thing with my archives for different kinds of text, for different elements I'm using, different kind of graphics. It just speeds things up a whole bunch instead of having to like go find a silhouette of the shape and then drop it in there. And so I'm going to walk through what I do when I outline a state, because I'm not going to leave it like this with all the little nooks and crannies in there. I'm going to simplify it down a little bit and make the whole thing look a little bit more cohesive with the rest of the illustration. So here we go. You don't want to do every little inlet and bay and, detail on every landmass in a state, because it makes the whole thing look really computerized and fake. And so you're really trying to get as close as you can to maintaining the integrity of the shape without making it exactly the same as it looks on a map. So now we're going to add our text here. Like I said, MLB owns a trademark on Grapefruit League, and so we kind of played around with some different phrases to kind of communicate this without making it super, corny looking. We came up with "Is it spring yet?" My favorite typeface to use for a baseball script is Blackjack script. It is beautiful for baseball. It looks just like a jersey, an old-timey jersey. Patched is what I use if I'm using a baseball serif, sans serif, kind of a hybrid. It looks like the block letters on a baseball jersey. These pair super well together. They always hit together with those little points, and it really just kind of looks like baseball without even having to hit you over the head with it. I want a quick pause here and let you guys know what I'm about to do next. This could be fine by itself. I do not like that the script part, the Blackjack script, is italicized, patched is straight up and down vertical. That drives me crazy when I see them together. So I'm always going to skew patched to the right a little bit so that it matches that same angle as what I have in Blackjack script. It makes the whole thing look a little bit more cohesive, a little bit more together. It's a tiny thing, but it drives me insane if I don't do it every time. Now we're just going to fine tune the placement, the scale, a little bit of things to get everything looking just right to go together into the graphic. Drop that behind our weathering layer. We're going to call out all of our different ink colors in the graphic. Save this as a PNG to send over for submission, and this one is done. Go. This one is done. Spoiler alert, I sent this over to the client. They wanted to see it as a one color version instead. And so if you look for this one through Sunshine State, you're going to see it is cream colored graphic, all on navy. I wanted to show you guys the full color version of it, mostly because I didn't record me going back and changing the colors on it, and also because it looks a little more dynamic for you guys to see me work through the process of which colors go where, adding on the shine and that sort of stuff. But if you like this graphic, you can pick it up through Sunshine State. Hopefully it's up there pretty soon. If you like what I do, make sure you subscribe to my videos. I'm going to have more coming out. I know I had a pretty long pause, had a lot going on, but I should have some more coming out soon, and I will see you guys next time.